Hey, what's going on, guys? Norsky here. In this video I'm comparing the M1917 MG Low Weight to the Perino Model 1908 Low Weight to see which gun is better based on each gun's current weapon statistics at the time of this video being made, and also my personal opinion on what I think of these two support guns. For this video we're going to start off with the M1917 Browning Machine Gun Low Weight. Now this gun originated in the United States and was mostly used in World War I, but it also had some usage in World War II, the Korean War, and to even a lesser extent the Vietnam War. This gun was used at the battalion level and often mounted on vehicles because of the size and weight. In fact, the total weight of the gun, including the gun, bipod, water, and ammo, was typically over 100 pounds. Now this LMG is located in the support class and was added into Battlefield 1 from DLC 3 Turning Tides. The way you can unlock this gun is by getting 25 kills with the BAR M1918 Trench, and also performing 250 damage points to a vehicle using explosives only. The M1917 also has a telescopic variant that you can unlock. An interesting note is the M1917 is currently the only weapon which faces to the right in the menus, with all the other weapons facing to the left. It also faces the opposite direction in the kill feed. The M1917 has the largest magazine capacity in the entire game, holding 250 rounds in its magazine, along with an additional 250 rounds on reserve. The MG15 Suppressive has the second biggest magazine size, holding 200 rounds. You can typically fire 65 rounds before the M1917 overheats. The reload time is unsurprisingly slow. With ammo in the magazine it takes 8.33 seconds, and the reload time is actually the same when the magazine is empty. The M1917 has the slowest reload time in the game, which is kind of obvious. Moving on to its damage, I want to mention that these are the ratings before the January patch, which is important because the patch is going to change the way most guns play. In fact, the LMGs are supposedly getting a buff when it comes to damage at long range. It sounds like they'll also get a nerf in ADS times and a little added recoil to a few LMGs. If you want to know more about the details in the upcoming patch, I put a link in the description to a video that explains the details a little bit more in depth. Anyways, moving on to the M1917 Low Weight's damage ratings. Between 0 meters and 11 meters, the M1917 Low Weight has a max damage output of 23. Between 12 meters and 35 meters, the M1917 slowly drops to its minimum damage output of 19. From 0 meters to 30 meters this gun is a 5-shot kill, and from 31 meters and out it becomes a 6-shot kill. Every LMG in Battlefield 1 has a max damage output of 23. The one exception is the Shosha, which has a max damage of 35. The M1917 is tied with the BAR and the M1909 Benet Merci for having the second best minimum damage output at 19 in the support class. Personally, I think this gun is pretty solid at close and medium range. It's not going to compete with shotguns or SMGs at close range, but it can hold its own against pretty much any other gun at close range. With an LMG like the M1917, you probably want to go for the longer range shots since the damage drop-off isn't as significant as other support guns. And with the bipod, it can take out enemies fairly quick at medium and long range. Moving on to the overall accuracy and effectiveness. At close range, this gun has pretty good accuracy and very good control, but it isn't necessarily the most effective at this range because the ADS is pretty slow overall, and it's not the most mobile gun to lug around. Medium range is the M1917 Low Weight's best range because it's still pretty accurate with good control, especially if you have your bipod deployed. At this range it will be between a 5 and 6 shot kill depending on the range of your shot. This gun can be a monster at medium range when put in the right situation or scenario. Also at medium and long range, I would not recommend moving while aiming because the bullet spread becomes much less consistent and much tougher to control, so whenever you try and aim, stay stationary if possible to keep the control and accuracy more manageable. At long range, this gun is pretty ineffective, at least when you aren't using your bipod. Now if you're using your bipod, which I really recommend you do at this range, then the M1917 Low Weight is a pretty viable gun at long range. The recoil and bullet spread can become a factor when aiming at this range, which makes it somewhat difficult to take out enemies consistently. The rate of fire for the M1917 is a sluggish 450 rounds per minute, which is tied for the second slowest rate of fire in the support class. It's actually tied with the Perino and the M1909 Benet Merci. The only gun with a slower fire rate is the Shosha at 359 rounds per minute. Last thing to mention is the muzzle velocity is 820 meters per second, which is a little above average for support guns. Overall, the M1917 MG Low Weight is a pretty good gun. It has the biggest magazine size in the game. It also has great control and fairly good accuracy at all ranges, especially when you have your bipod deployed. The overall damage is a little above average for an LMG. To counter the good damage, it has one of the slowest fire rates in the support class. With that being said, this gun feels very unique. There's no other gun quite like it. It's a pretty fun gun to play with, and I definitely recommend you try and unlock it if you haven't already. My overall rating for the M1917 MG Low Weight is a 7.1 out of 10. Moving on to the other gun in this comparison, which is the Perino Model 1908 Low Weight. This gun originated from Italy, and the Perino is considered the first Italian-designed machine gun. Now this gun is also located in the support class and was added in a Battlefield 1 from DLC 2 in the name of the Tsar. The way you can unlock this gun is by getting 40 kills with the MG15 Low Weight, along with doing 10 squad resupplies in one round. The Perino holds 120 rounds in its box magazine, along with an additional 120 rounds on reserve. The Perino has one of the most unique reloads, as it is reloaded by refilling the box magazine with one 20-round strip at a time. The feed system allows for uninterrupted fire between clips. You can fire 65 rounds before the Perino will overheat. Now what you see on screen is all the many possible reload times that you can have when using this gun. Overall, this gun does have a quicker reload time than the M1917. This gun is also much more versatile when it comes to reloading because of the stripper clips and the open box magazine that it uses. Moving on to its damage ratings, between 0 meters and 11 meters, the Perino Low Weight has a max damage output of 23. Between 12 meters and 47 meters, the Perino slowly drops to its minimum damage output of 15. From 0 meters to 30 meters, this gun is a 5-shot kill. From 31 meters to 38 meters, it's a 6-shot kill. And from 39 meters and out, it's a 7-shot kill. Any shot within 38 meters in range, the Perino will produce the same amount of damage as the M1917, but any shot past that, and the Perino is noticeably weaker. In fact, the Perino is tied with the Huad and the Lewis gun for having the lowest minimum damage output in the support class. Just like the M1917, the Perino isn't bad at close range, but it's not going to compete with the SMGs of shotguns. I personally believe that the Perino is more effective at close range overall. Moving on to the overall accuracy and effectiveness, close range, this gun has great control and accuracy. In fact, it's a tad bit better than the M1917 at close range in my opinion. I think it's better at this range mostly because of the all-around better accuracy and the slightly better mobility that it has, although the ADS spread is identical to the M1917. Also, one thing to note is both the M1917 and Perino are pretty bad at hip firing, so I don't recommend it even if your enemy is in close range. At medium range, the Perino is pretty effective at this range, with great accuracy and super low recoil. In fact, it has the second lowest amount of upward recoil among the support guns. The M1909 Benet Merci is the only gun with a lower amount of upward recoil. The Perino actually has some of the lowest recoil ratings in the entire game. I would have to say medium range is this gun's best range when it comes to how effective it is. At long range, the Perino isn't bad at all, especially when you have a bipod deployed. Although it can take quite a few shots to kill an enemy at this range, which is probably its biggest problem at long range. Accuracy-wise, the Perino is better at long range than the M1917, but damage-wise, the M1917 is better than the Perino. The Perino has a rate of fire of 450 rounds per minute, which, like I said earlier, is tied for the second slowest rate of fire in the support class. It also has an above-average muzzle velocity of 820 meters per second. Overall, the Perino is also a pretty good gun. In fact, it's similar in so many ways when compared to the M1917. The Perino has amazing all-around accuracy. It's probably one of the most accurate automatic guns in the game. The magazine size is only half the size of the M1917 Low Weights, but holding 120 rounds means it's still a huge magazine. In fact, it has the third largest magazine capacity in the game. The only downfalls the Perino Low Weight have are its damage ratings at long range are kind of weak, and its somewhat slow rate of fire. I actually enjoy using this gun just as much as the M1917. They are both great LMGs, and my overall rating for the Perino Model 1908 Low Weight is a 7.2 out of 10. The Perino Low Weight got the slightly better rating over the M1917 Low Weight. In fact, it edged it out by a 0.1 rating, so technically the Perino won, but they're both such similar weapons and they're both really amazing LMGs. The Perino won mainly because it has amazing accuracy and such slow recoil, along with a tight bullet spread. It's easily one of the best handling guns in the game. Now, after hearing my opinion, I want to know what gun do you guys prefer between these two guns? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, and also feel free to subscribe if you're new to my channel. Thanks again, guys, and I'll catch you later.